800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. Once again, that's 800-932-5517.
Hi, folks, and welcome to Fifth Street Sports here on a beautiful Thursday afternoon in Las Vegas. We are on SB Nation at Sports Byline, SB Nation Radio Network. You can also find us on Facebook / Fifth Street Sports Talk. Also on Twitter at Fifth Street Sports. You guys, today we got a great show. I'm joined by my co-host, Florida Rick, and we got a real treat for you in the house today. We got Alan Michaels from On Pit Road Racing. We're going to get into some of the intricacies that none of us really know about how it is to be inside of a car, what these guys go through, some of the rules on tire changes, pit stops, all kinds of interesting stuff that, you know, a lot of us, like, we don't ever hear it on TV. You know, we just see NASCAR and we think that they just go round and round. But, Rick, I mean, like, how unfamiliar are we with NASCAR?
Wow, I feel like a 2-year-old here talking to you guys about NASCAR. I've always been, you know, a big sports guy, you know, football, baseball, basketball, even hockey, soccer, tennis. But then you throw NASCAR at me and, you know, we're in a whole other world. So this is Alan's show today.
It certainly is. And, okay, Alan Michael, say hello to all of our listeners.
Well, it's good. Thank you so much for having me on your program. It's a pleasure to be here and ready to talk a little racing. And maybe I could throw a little insight, too, in some college football and get a pick or two in there, too.
Oh, we would love to have. Guys, we're going to get a real treat today because we don't ever get a chance to get somebody 30-something years in the business, right? You know, one of the main guys out there at the track. So today we're gonna go to school today, Rick. We are gonna go to school on NASCAR, but we're gonna share some of the more interesting things about the racing. You know, actually, like what tires cost, what these guys go through, how much they sweat, what kind of conditioning they're into. Not just you know, who's gonna win or who's fastest. Let's get into the real car, into the real helmets, and we got the man to do it, Mr. Alan Michaels, here with us today. Boy, it's going to be a lot of fun, and you know, this like for you and I, Rick, this is going like to the University of Phoenix in NASCAR, you know. But guys, when we come back, where Alan Michaels is going to tell us all about what it's like to be inside of one of these cars. So stay tuned. We'll be back in 3 minutes. This is Frank Perez, Florida Rick, and Alan Michaels. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
When it comes to vehicle safety, having poor visibility is a risk not worth taking. Get set for this fall's weather by visiting your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store during the See Better, Drive Safer sale. You'll find deals on name brand headlights, wiper blades, and everything you need to see better and drive safer. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Marijuana has unleashed a green gold rush across our nation. It's creating $10.8 billion in new wealth a year. And every day, it's transforming more and more Americans into millionaires. In an historic event, former Speaker of the House John Boehner reveals how you could become one of them. Join him online for the American Cannabis Summit. Attendance is 100% free, but space is limited. To secure your spot, text JOIN to 44055. This event is the first of its kind ever. John Boehner and an esteemed panel will reveal which cannabis stocks are primed to deliver life-changing windfalls in the weeks and months ahead. Plus, they will show you how to become a cannabis angel investor, backing the hottest startups before they potentially become worth billions of dollars. To join American Cannabis Summit, text JOIN to 44055. Attendance is free. Text JOIN to 44055. Text JOIN to 44055.
Being a new parent means every high and low you can imagine. But Evos can make it all easier with a baby monitor you can trust. Go to myevos.com, that's MYEVOZ.com, to see how Evos can be the eyes and ears of your nursery. Evos works with your smartphone to provide a live audio and HD video connection to your baby anytime and anywhere. On a date, at work, away on business, even serving your country overseas, Evos helps you never miss a moment. Whether your baby is with a sitter, your partner, a grandparent, or a friend, you'll be right there too. And with unique features like smart alerts that know the difference between a barking dog and your baby crying, extensive sleep tracking data, and state-of-the-art security features for your peace of mind, Evos is the smart baby monitor for connected parents. And enter the code SPORTS at checkout for $20 off. That's myevos.com. MYEVOZ.com.
Your washing machine died. A puddle forms on the floor, sending you running to the home improvement store, where you see the stainless steel machine of your dreams. For a minute, you're glad your old washer died, until you see the price of the new one. And now you die a little. Don't let those big box retailers leak on your dreams. Swing by Rent-A-Center or go to rentacenter.com and get the big brands you want for small payments you can afford, all without credit. Rent-A-Center. Big brands, small payments. Rental purchase transactions. See store for details.
Hi, folks. We're back here on 5th Street Sports. We have my co-host, Florida Rick, and in the house today, Mr. Alan Michaels from On Pit Road Racing. We are on Sports Byline, SB Nation Radio Network. Also, a big salute and a big thank you to the American Forces Network. You guys, thanks for listening in, and I hope we can make your afternoon just a little bit more interesting. Alan, okay, let's get to some nitty-gritty over here, because I played professional highlight. And then back in Spain, you know, they played like, it's called like partidos, where 2-on-2 would play to 35 points. It would last maybe 2.5 hours, and we'd lose 5 to 7 pounds. We thought that was brutal. So we're going to get inside of a NASCAR here with Mr. Alan Michaels. Tell us what these guys go for, and the temperatures, and what kind of conditioning these guys are in to finish a race.
Well, you know, today it's changed so much over the years, Frank, and it's conditioning. I mean, it's almost like you're playing with football or basketball or whatever. I mean, these teams have constructed gyms at their shops back, and most of the teams are based out of North Carolina, because this is where NASCAR actually started at, was in the Carolinas. But they have shops and weight equipment. They have personal training and training coaches, to where they're just not showing up at the track on Friday to qualify the car, and then, you know, have Sunday to do or Saturday to do public relations, and then move to the race on Sunday. I mean, these guys are like football players. They're conditioning, they're practicing, they're training, they're lifting weights, they're running, they're riding bicycles. Prime example, Jimmy Johnson has been known through his career that on Sunday morning, wherever he's at, whether he's here in Vegas or if he's in Pocono or Daytona or wherever it might be back in the Carolinas, he'll get out early in the morning and he'll ride a bicycle 5 to 10 miles in the morning, then come back and run a race. So physical training is a big thing. Conditioning is a big thing. What they eat, it's really become so dynamic to the where their bodies go what they go through. You got to remember, you're in a 3,000 to a 3,500 pound automobile, a rolling machine, okay, that you're out on the track, whether it's a big track such as Daytona or Talladega, or a short track such as Bristol, Martinsville, Richmond, but they're spending anywhere from 3.5 to 4 hours in this car going round and round, making left turns. But the G-forces that are in the car, the heat that's in the car, the stamina that they have to think. There is, you know, yeah, they might have a caution because there's a wreck on the speedway or something has happened, there's fluids or whatever, and they'll slow the cars down. Well, when they pull them into the pits, they don't get out of the cars. They stay in the cars while the team service the cars. So the conditioning part of it and the training part of it over the years is elevated, just like it is in pro football or college football or any stick and ball sport, basketball, baseball, hockey. I mean, it's unbelievable.
So like, let's say, for instance, when a guy's, how about the races like here in Vegas? When you get inside of a car, what's the temperature inside of a car, and what do these guys got to go through with the gear that they have?
Well, just Las Vegas just got its second race in the fall race here, and of course we're out here in the heat and in the desert. And in September, when they were here, the air temperature on Sunday was about 103 to 105, depending where you were at. But inside the car, they put 5 thermometers in 5 different cars, and the heat ranged anywhere from 140 to 150 degrees inside the car. Okay, now taking that, drivers are wearing a 3 or a 4 or a 5-piece Kevlar fire suit that protects their body in case there is a fire. Okay, so you got to add that to it. They're wearing undergarments that are up underneath them that help them. Of course, they have shoes, they have gloves, they have a full-faced helmet that's on. Wow. So here in Las Vegas, that day, you look at the air temperature of 103 to 105, depending where you were at, and then add what the temperature is inside that car. I mean, it's like being in an oven for 3.5 to 4 hours.
Rick, could you imagine that? I mean, I struggle to stay inside of a sauna with a bottle of water and a towel for 15 minutes. Imagine being inside. You think you could handle 150 degrees for 3.5 hours making struggling turns the whole way?
I couldn't handle it for 3.5 minutes. I think after the first 20 seconds or so, I'd be saying, I'm done. Count me out, throw in the towel. So, it's you can't even comprehend it. I mean, 3.5 hours in a Kevlar suit, that thick in 150 degree temperatures. It's crazy.
Well, I mean,
the condition these guys are in.
Yeah, I was talking to Alan here, like in between the shows, that these guys, from the upper body strength and what they got to go through, they're in as good or better shape than like an NFL linebacker. That's why I want Alan to tell you a story how this Randall Cunningham, an NFL quarterback, we all know him. He lives here in Vegas. How he mentioned one time that NASCAR drivers or race car drivers weren't really athletes.
He made a statement. It was, I believe, on an ESPN program about they were talking about different things, and he came back to say that he didn't believe that race car drivers were true athletes. That they weren't taking the hits as such as an NFL or a college football player, even a high school football. They weren't physically dominated to that point. And I sent out a challenge through a friend of mine that knew him, saying, why don't you just come out, and I wasn't even talking to the big NASCAR ranks. I was talking to local short track that they have here at the facility, that it's a 3/8 mile, okay? So it's a short track. And I said, hey, why don't you come out? We'll put you in a car, and we'll let you run 35 to 50 laps, okay? And if you give a true effort on it and get out of the car and tell me that race car drivers aren't true athletes, well, hey, man, I threw the challenge out that I'd see him on the courthouse steps and I'd give him a pucker. But he never did accept the challenge, and I don't know if it ever got back to him. But race car drivers are true athletes. I really do believe they are. I mean, for what they have to do, throw all the marketing, the public appearances out of it. These guys, the stamina and the concentration that they have to have, they're racing inches. I mean, literally inches. Sometimes when you get to the super speedways, they're racing this far apart from one another, what they call bumper to bumper. They're that close, and they have to be precise. They have to have good judgment. They have to be able to react. The reaction time has to be unbelievable, because you're traveling at anywhere from 100, depending on the track, from 100 miles an hour, 120, 140 miles an hour, to when you get to the big speedways, to where they're running over 200 miles an hour around this thing consistently, and something happens in front of you. I mean, things can go bad real quick, and you've got to be, I think you have to be a true athlete to get yourself in one, whether NASCAR, NHRA, Indy, Formula One, whether it's dirt track racing, asphalt racing, whether it's the local racing or it's the big national touring seasons. These guys have got to be in some great shape, man.
Could you imagine, Rick, just imagine a 3 to 5 layer Kevlar suit on with a big helmet, 150 degrees, and they say, okay, go out there and do like 200 laps at 130 plus miles an hour within inches of each other the whole time. I can't even. It's kind of like Babe Ruth. Like, you remember when you see some of the old time highlights now in baseball, like Babe Ruth that have 5 hot dogs, drink a 6-pack, and then go start for the Yankees that day. That's, it's like saying, like, let's put Jackie Gleason inside of a NASCAR and see if he can handle it. Everybody thinks it's just driving, I
think when we were younger, we always used to think of say golfers, race car drivers as not being true athletes compared to the other sports. But I know as time has gone on over the years, these guys, you don't see any golfers anymore. They're 300 pounds, smoking cigarettes, barely, making it through the course like you used to. But race car drivers, I think, are you got to put them right up there with the elite athletes in sports now. I don't see any other athletes that can handle what they go through, on a daily basis. With not just the working out, but then training, driving all day, and then the races. They got to be underpaid for whatever they're making. They got to be underpaid.
Like we gotta take a break here, Rick. But when we come back, since this is talk you can bet on, this is our Fifth Street Sports. We're going to ask Alan some of the situationals that are happening in the next 3 weeks, because the season ends in 3 weeks. We're going to come back to a betting perspective on the next segment here. So stay tuned. Alan Michaels, Florida Rick, Frank Perez, Fifth Street Sports. We'll be right back.
In times of economic uncertainty and chaos, your money means nothing. You may not even be able to get it from your bank or ATM. And the money you do have in the stock market will go down and down. What you can bank on is gold and silver. Gold and silver have been a reliable and trusted form of currency for thousands of years. Gold and silver have never been worth zero, and typically gold holds its value during economic turmoil. Call the Gold Hotline now and learn how to protect your money and your assets with gold and silver. And learn how to set up a new IRA or roll over your current one into a gold-backed IRA. Protect your money from the next market crash with gold and silver. Call now for your free gold guide.
800-535-7789. 800-535-7789. 800-535-7789. That's 800-535-7789.
Attention to anyone that's written a book or wants to write a book. The process is not that complicated. Take a first step. Even if you write a page a day, you'll build momentum and your book will become a reality. The hard part is getting it published. That's when you need to call Page Publishing. They've got hundreds and hundreds of thank yous from different new authors, just like you. They make the process of publishing your new book and getting it sold online a simple process. You can learn how simple it is right now by calling for your free Page Publishing New Author Submission Kit. One quick 3-minute phone call, that's all it takes to get free information and learn how you can get your book published. Pick up your phone right now and call us 24 hours a day at this number. 800-603-0885. 800-603-0885. 800-603-0885. That's 800-603-0885.
Do you use the blue pill to charge your sex life? Have you been thinking about trying the blue pill? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pill delivers the exact same results for less than $3. We'll do the math for you. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. Want more? We'll give you 40 blue pills or 40 yellow pills for $99 and add 4 more pills free. You save more than $500. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to know what to do next. You need to call and get your 44 pills for just $99. Stop overpaying for the other blue pills. Call us and start saving a ton of money for the exact same results. Ordering is fast and easy with your pills delivered to your door in a non-marked package. 800-223-0992. 800-223-0992. 800-223-0992. That's 800-223-0992.
All right, folks, we're back here on Fifth Street Sports. I'm Frank Perez, joined with Florida Rick, and we have Alan Michaels from On Pit Road Racing in the house. Boy, we've been talking a lot about, because I wanted to get, since we've gotten such a NASCAR education, what it is to be inside of a car, the endurance, the stamina, stuff that they never really talk much about those things. But since this is talk you can bet on, with Florida Rick, let's get a little bit of takes on with Alan on some of the odds, who can still win this, and if there's any value in some of these lines. Because, we want to try to make, even us or our listeners, before we get to football and basketball, how we can get maybe a little bit of an insight on making some money. Hey, there's Brian Allen. How you doing, buddy? Oh, there he is. You just back from the dentist, right?
I am. I'm the Willis Reed of radio. I'm still in a little bit of a puffy lip, but I'm going to fight through it.
See what I mean? Now, I did the whole week with a cold, because I tell you that we play hurt. This is the love and the passion that we have for Fifth Street Sports. We got Mr. Oklahoma Brian still all Novocained up just from the dentist, and he's still on. We got Alan Michaels here. Now, Alan, like when they say, we were just talking about how NASCAR drivers are real athletes. I mean, these guys are in better conditioning than NFL linebackers. How about us as hosts? We play sick. We play from the dentist. I mean, come on. But
I'll tell you what, if I got to take a needle to do a radio show, I'm taking the needle. That's all there is to it.
Hey, so anyways, let's get with Brian. So we're going to get into, there's only 3 races left, and he's going to share with us how they qualify for the finals and who can win this cup.
Well, you're down to it started when after the season was over. The first 26 races are just racing, and you're trying to get to your points, and then you get down to the last 10 events. Is what they call the chase for the cup. And currently, you've got Las Vegas native Kyle Busch is up on top right now. He has had 7 wins throughout the year. Okay, he's currently standing at 4,104 points. Okay, so they take the points of stage wins, how you finished. Each finishing position has a points. Okay, then you've got Martin Truex Jr. currently in second, who is the defending champion. He won it last year, and Martin standing at 4,083. Right behind him, Kevin Harvick for Stewart-Haas Racing. Kevin's got 7 wins on the year. He's actually tied point-wise right now with Martin Truex Jr. Then you've got Joey Logano, who stands in 4th. Kurt Busch, who is Kyle's brother, both Las Vegas native. Then you got Chase Elliott. Chase is the son of Bill Elliott, former champion of the series. Then Clint Boyer and Eric Almirola. So now with just a couple events left, actually to the final event, we're going to be heading to our sister track in Texas Motor Speedway this weekend, and then they'll come to Phoenix the week after that. Between now and those 2 races, they'll skim these top 8 down to 4. So when you get to Miami, of course, all the cars will run, but there will only be 4 drivers that will compete for the championship. So right now, if it was to happen today, if this Sunday, and if we were down in Florida, the 4 drivers that would compete for the championship would be Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr., Kevin Harvick, and Joey Logano right now, as it stands today. Now, the way the points are set up, in fact, I just looked up recently this morning, the points are sort of spread so far apart right now from 4th to 5th. Joey Logano's got 4,074 points. He has 2 wins on the year. Next back is Kurt Busch, Kyle's older brother, who's got 1 win, and he's standing about 9 to 10 points back, okay? So really, when you look at it, with these next 2 races before the final event in Miami Homestead, the bottom 4 drivers really need a win. That's it. To move on to the final round, they really need to get a win right now. This would be the thing. And I'll tell you, the hot guy has been Chase Elliott. It took 99 Cup races for him to win, and he's won in the last, 10 weeks, he's won 3 times. So wow. If you want to sort of look at odds-wise, Chase Elliott would be a good guy to put some money on right now. I mean, he's come on strong late in the season, and I can flip the page over here in just a minute or so, and we can pull up what the latest. In fact, they just came out this morning. I got the morning line from Vegas here. But Chase Elliott, if you're looking to put something on, maybe a long shot, he would be. Kyle Busch has had a solid year. I mean, he really has. Martin Truex has stayed consistent all year long. And you and I talked about this earlier, the way NASCAR sort of redesigned the way this is run. In the old school ways, the drivers ran for points, and at the end of the year, whoever had the most points won the championship. Well, NASCAR decided that they wanted to throw group qualifying in, stage racing in, to where if you win a stage, you get so many points, this, whatever. We were talking earlier, back in 1990 when Dale Earnhardt Sr. won his 7th championship, he didn't win a race all year long, but he stayed consistent all year long, top 5s, top 10s, and brought the car home. No DNFs, which is a do not finish. So, I mean, the way they've jockeyed it around, NASCAR thought it would make it more exciting to do it this way. My personal opinion is I'd like to see NASCAR take racing back to the way it used to be. But
well, that's what all the old school guys. So basically what it is, when they get to the last race in Florida, only the top 4, even though they all race, only the top 4 drivers are eligible to win. Well, there's 8 that are drawing live right now, but those 4 that are not in the top 4, they say 5, 6, 7, and 8, they basically have to win one of the next 2 races to be drawn towards that final play. It's like the BCS of NASCAR when they get to Florida. That's so pretty interesting. But here's Brian. You didn't even hear. Did you know that they had 5 thermometers inside the cars here when they ran in Vegas? Inside these cars was between 140 and 150 degrees. So imagine being with a 3 to 5 layer Kevlar suit on, a helmet, and you're racing 250 laps. I mean, these guys lose 7 to 10 pounds during the race. You don't even know that.
I bet they smell horrible.
Yeah, I'll bet they do too. Hey, but in between this, we got a few little things in here. I hate to break it up because it's so interesting. We're going to talk about some tires, what it costs, stuff that they never talk about. But Rick, I got to tell you, and Brian too, you liked Detroit yesterday. They covered. They were in it the whole way. Finally only lost by 1 in overtime. Rick's Minnesota, and he gave out the money line with it. They win easy. Well, not easy, but they kind of win handily in Utah. Some of the guys here are asking, Rick and Brian, any NBA tonight for the boys?
Yes, but you got to wait for the final segment for the NBA.
Oh, okay. There it is. I love it. I love it. You got to stick around.
I got a question for Alan. So do you ever make it to Tulsa for the Chili Bowl?
That's a bucket list one. I've been wanting to come down there, and I would love to come down. If I come, I got a place to stay, man. You got an extra bedroom or a couch to sleep on?
Sure. You got it. Absolutely. Yeah.
I would love to come. That is some really great racing there. And, of course, that's a winter event that you talked about. You're in sprint cars there. That's the thing that Tony Stewart, really, when he got out of NASCAR, as far as the Cup Series win, that's what he really likes. He likes dirt racing and the Chili Bowl down there. And, of course, he has done such a great job with Eldora up in Ohio where they took the Camping World trucks and, racing on the dirt. But I would love to come to the Chili Bowl. Really would.
It's a lot of fun. It's indoors. I guess, is it the only indoor race of that circuit?
I believe so. I've never heard of anybody else pulling it off. Bruton Smith at one time that talked about Bristol Motor Speedway, about putting a roof on top. They call it the last great Coliseum there. That's what they call Bristol Motor Speedway. And he talked about doming it at one time, but I think OSHA sort of stepped in because of the fumes and everything else, and they sort of outruled that. But, yeah, I believe that's one of the last major running circuit type of races that is indoors.
Yeah, the fumes are pretty intense. They have to take a few breaks to let it air out, and of course the acoustics, of racing indoors also. It's you just can't describe how loud it is inside of the Expo Center where they run the Chili Bowl, but it's a lot of fun. And I don't know anything about racing, but I go every year because it's just it's a blast.
Do you have I was just going to say I've seen some footage and things like that. I would, like I said, I'd love to get down there. I'm glad that you got a chance to enjoy that because it's dirt racing is a lot different than what asphalt racing is. You're sliding more of the cars and it's not really so much high tech as what asphalt and what NASCAR or Indy or Formula One. Now we just had the NHRA here last week, and now you want to talk about decibels and loudness. Be down on the starting line when a top fuel car that has 10,000 horsepower and there's 2 of them lined up, and they let those things off those lines at 20,000 horsepower go. But you talk about your body shaking and rocking and rolling. That is something to really feel. I encourage anybody, if you've never been out to an NHRA event, go to one because it's really exciting.
Do you think there'll be a time in the future where there will be an electric drag racing vehicle that will surpass the traditional fuel models?
Well, that's pretty wild that you said that because SEMA is here in Las Vegas this week, and Chevrolet is putting out a prototype. It's on. I have not been to SEMA, but I saw some pictures of this thing. It's the Z1 Camaro, and it is electric. And there's been some talk about NASCAR possibly going. I think if you do that, I think I understand the environment and everything else, and I'm all about keeping our environment clean and safe. But if you take it and go to electric cars, you're going to lose so much of it because, feeling the cars come by, the horsepower, the smell.
Sure.
That's one of the best things of. You get up there and you get down there early and you smell that Sunoco fuel burning, those Goodyear tires burning. That's an experience in itself.
Wow, I mean, you can just tell, there's some sports that, because you can't be into every sport, just the passion that Alan has and, the real, it's like a whole new universe. Guys, when we come back from this break, let's ask him a few questions, and then we'll get into a little bit of the sports today. We'll be right back. 5th Street Sports. You got the whole team in the house. Stay tuned.
It has been said that everyone has a book in them. But do you have the time or the ability to write your book? Maybe you picked up some skills or had a life experience that you want to pass on in the form of a book to help others. Maybe you want to leave an autobiography for your family. Or maybe you've built a successful business and you want to share your story. At Dorrance Publishing Company, we have professional writers who can help turn your book idea into a finished manuscript quickly and affordably. A Dorrance ghostwriter can provide as much or as little help as you need to complete your book. You'll work directly with your ghostwriter to finish your book faster than you ever could on your own. It's easy to become a published author. Call Dorrance now to learn more. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. Call right now. That number is 800-485-6003.
Attention business owners. Are you struggling while waiting for your customers to pay on their net 30, 60, or 90-day invoices? Can't get a business loan? Have no equity? Bad credit? Or maybe no credit at all? Then you need to call AmeriFactors right now. AmeriFactors will give you cash for your invoices and there's nothing to pay back. We simply buy your account receivables, and if those clients don't pay on the invoices, we take the loss. We give you funds based on your account receivables, not your credit, and 98% of all applicants are approved. It's that simple. With AmeriFactors, there's no more waiting for your customers to pay. We give you the funds up front, then we wait for your customers to pay us. Fund your business today. Call AmeriFactors right now.
800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. That's 800-847-1183.
Yeah, we sort of stopped paying attention and racked up a lot of debt.
Yeah, it was stressful. He blamed me for my credit card debt, and I blamed him for building that man cave.
It's awesome. Anyway, we stopped blaming each other, did our homework, and read that a smart way to consolidate debt is to get a fixed-rate loan. But getting a loan was brutal.
And a time drain.
So I was in my man cave researching personal loans, and I found Best Egg.
Yep.
They have an A+ rating with the BBB, and Best Egg handles everything online, start to finish.
And Consumer Affairs gave Best Egg 5 stars for their easy online loan app. And we could be approved and funded in as little as 1 business day. I applied online with no impact to my credit score.
She always takes credit for my wins, but long story short, she got an awesome loan, paid off our cards and some bills while lowering our monthly payment. The Best Egg loan was like a total fresh start.
Yeah.
Visit bestegg.com/blue. bestegg.com/blue.
Subject to credit approval. Actual rates, fees, and approval times will vary.
Guys, we're back. 5th Street Sports. We got everybody in the house today, including Alan Michaels from On Pit Road Racing. Of course, Oklahoma Brian just back from the dentist. He plays hurt. I can't wait. Rick, Florida Rick is in the house. But you can follow Alan Michaels here on his Facebook at On Pit Road Racing on his Facebook or on his Twitter. But guys, before we get into some of our NBA or picks we have for tonight's game, I just wanted to, Brian, I wanted to give you a little Rosetta Stone education that I got on NASCAR. Here's a couple little interesting things. Each team or driver is only allowed 10 sets of tires, right?
That's right. NASCAR has used 10 sets per race. That's correct.
10 sets per race. So check this out. If people don't know this, so you get 10 sets of tires in your pit. Each set is about $3,000, and you're going to change all 10. So there's $30,000 in tires. The fuel's $11 to $12 a gallon. How many gallons?
Well, each fueling tank holds 11 gallons per tank. So you're looking at 22 gallons, and that's on each stop. So if you make 10 stops during the event,
it's like $1,200-$1,300. So check this out in the pit. All right, now you're going to change tires 10 times. Each car is only allowed 22 gallons of fuel. You can't have a bigger tank than that, or else you'll get disqualified. When they get into the pit, they have pit times. They have 13.5. These guys change 4 tires, put in 22 gallons of fuel in 13.5 seconds.
Yeah, it is. That's where, and you guys talked about the conditioning with NFL and that. Not only are the drivers in conditioning, but the team, the pit guys have to go through conditioning too. They're on the treadmill. They're lifting weights. They're watching diets, hydration. I mean, it's something else to watch. They call it the mad circus ballet of what this is, And with NASCAR, compared to Formula One or IndyCar, to where there's just one big lug nut. In NASCAR, there are 5. So you got the guys that it's running the wrenches. He's got to take five lugs off. Then another crew member puts the fresh tire. He's got to hit it. And I remember when I first started covering races, pit stops were 16, 16.5. That was a good team. Now they've got to whittle down to where, like you said, 4 tires, 2 cans of fuel, and maybe what they call adjusting the wedge or whatever, putting some wedge into the car or taking wedge out, where they're using a wrench to where they can basically just spin it one time or a half a time or 3/4 of a time. And they're all doing this. Good teams are all doing it under 14 seconds.
Wow.
So Alan, what would you say is the most dangerous job amongst the crew members?
Oh, tire changer for sure. Especially when they feel, except when they're at Sonoma and Watkins Glen, but they work the right side of the car first and then to the left side. So when those guys are coming over the wall, and you got 40 cars all coming down on pit lane, and they're all within a space of a car length and a little bit, depending on the box size. That's probably the tire changer is probably the guy that, I've seen guys get hit before. And they've not only got to pay attention of working on their car, but they've got to pay attention of, depending on where they are on pit road, of 40 other cars coming in and coming out, and they all want to get 13, 14-second pits too. So it is really a mechanical, I call it the crazy circus ballet is what I call it, because it's something to watch.
Wow, can you imagine that, guys? It takes me 2.5 to 3 hours when I go to Discount Tire or Jiffy Lube. These guys are doing it in 13.5 seconds. That's crazy. And then getting on the thing. Wow, it's such an education. I don't know how many shows it would take us to really get educated on this. But now, back to a little bit of what's going, because the listeners want to hear a little bit what's happening today in football and basketball. What do we got for the fellas, guys?
Well, you want to start with football?
Yeah, Rick, go for it.
All right. Well, football, for tonight's games, this is one of the plays I gave out in the dog pound yesterday, and I still like it a lot. And the line movement tells me I think it's right. It's Temple, game 313, getting 11 now against UCF. This game was hit earlier from about 10.5 to 13. I think it was a setup, because now I see the line back to 11, and I know the sharp side is Temple in this game. I fully expect Temple to be in this the whole way. Wouldn't be surprised if they win. Like I said yesterday, UCF I don't believe is going to go undefeated this year. Everyone always talks about these teams who are going to, they're going to finish undefeated. So if these teams lose, these teams lose. Now we have to worry about them being in the BC in the playoff game. This just never usually happens, and it happened last year for UCF. I don't expect it this year. I love Temple plus 11 tonight. If you were lucky to get 13, like when the show started, all the more power to you. But I think this the whole way, and I love the money line plus 400 or so too, if you can get that.
Wow. And then what about the other two games, Brian? You got anything?
Well, I concur on the Temple play. I was just curious. I want to hear what Rick says. He's got the hot hand right now. Any
well, you're not so bad, Brian. You've been steadily hot. Rick's on fire. You've been steadily pretty hot. So I think you should plug something in here too. Don't be bashful.
I got the same play.
I'll interject for a minute because Brad was asking me about Maction tonight, and what we talked about the other day. These medium dogs in the MAC on these weekday games seem to be, pretty strong plays over the course of the year. So I would for sure lean to both dogs tonight. They're two home dogs. Western Michigan 3.5 at home. I know the quarterback's out, but Western Michigan's a better team than Ohio. I know they're using a backup quarterback, but usually they tend to over-exaggerate these lines with backup quarterbacks play. So I definitely like Western Michigan plus 3.5. I like some money line there, like plus 170. And I would lean towards Akron as well, getting plus 6 at home against Northern Illinois.
Wow, so it's a dog day afternoon, right?
Yeah, it's
always
for me.
If you find yourself betting favorites in the MAC, especially on weekday games, I think you probably should retire and find another hobby, I would say.
But Brian, do you ever see a case where you would lay a MAC favorite?
I mean, never say never, but generally speaking, it's the best conference in all of college football for betting dogs. And but sure, there's definitely situations where I'd bet the favorite for sure.
Very, very rare. So what about on the hard court? Nothing tonight?
Always something. We're always going to have a play.
Okay.
This is a couple interesting games. Let me get your take first, Rick, on the Denver-Cleveland game.
Okay. That's a game Frank and I actually were talking about earlier today. The Denver opened as a 6-point favorite. They've been bet down to 4.5. You see all the public is 77% on Denver. So the public money is all coming on Denver, but yet the sharp money is obviously on Cleveland. I would surely lean towards Cleveland here as a home dog. A little momentum after they got the new coach. They won their first game. They know what it feels like. I think they're going to be in this one tonight. I would lean towards Cleveland and probably a little money line as well, around plus 180, plus 190.
Do you happen to know if I believe this is one of those Sherry Ma games tonight? Do you know? Have you heard that?
No, go ahead.
I'm not making that up.
No. I'm just waiting. Because every game in every stadium has an acronym or a thing. I'm just waiting to see what Sherry Ma means.
There's nothing sexual about this. So
Okay.
if that's what you were waiting on,
No, I'm not. That's Nick. Nick's into all those sexual puns. Not us.
So Sherry Ma's
Oh, Brian, hang on a second, buddy. Before you finish the Sherry Ma, that sounds like Rockford's in the house. Let's get Rockford in. Okay, hang on. We want to hear about Sherry Ma, though, after Rockford. Guys, Rockford's picks today. He's coming with 3 more. Look at this. 313, Temple plus 12.5. 320, Arizona minus 3, and 385, Stanford plus 10. Wow, the entire crew and everybody, and even our sidekicks calling in, everybody's on Temple, and I know 385 matches Rick from yesterday. I believe you like Stanford on the money line. So right, but let's get back to the Sherry Ma thing. All right, Brian, share with us what that means.
Okay, so Sherry Ma is she's a sleep scientist at Stanford, and she's basically created this schedule, what she calls scheduled losses, teams that have to play in really demanding schedules. Like, so if you're moving from one time zone to another, or you have just anything that makes it really difficult in the NBA or any sport, but she focuses on the NBA. And when she identifies it, she puts out a list every month of the games that she thinks teams have a very difficult travel situation, and Denver was the team that she identified as being in a very difficult travel sleep situation. So her games typically move, believe it or not. She has a pretty material impact on the NBA, and so the Cavs would be a play that fits her model tonight. And like Rick said, it also checks every box in terms of reverse line movement, baiting the public, all of those things. So it's a pretty good play. Although it's already moved down from 6 to, what is it now, 4.5?
It's just, I still think there's some value at 4.5. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes 4 or 3.5.
Really?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
How expensive would it be to buy it to that critical 5?
Well, it's 10 cents for every half point. I really don't want people to get into the habit of buying half points in the NBA. Although that is actually that particular half point from 4.5 to 5 is probably worth right around 10 cents. So you're not going to hurt yourself buying from 4.5 to 5. But if you make a habit of buying those half points, there's not a huge amount of numbers that's worth it. You could say, going from 1.5 to 2 was worth it, or 4.5 to 5. Those are some fairly key numbers in the NBA. But I would try to stay. That's a bad habit people get themselves into, is buying unnecessary points.
There it is. So that's like go to the mall and you're there to buy a pair of sneakers. Don't buy a shirt or a suit. Just stick with the sneakers, right? You don't need to come home with anything more than that. But I know, when we get later on, maybe in a few weeks when college basketball starts, I know for sure I'll give the listeners one really quick one. I know you love buying on or off that too in college basketball, right?
I do, yeah. And actually, the NBA, particularly, that is a game. That's a number I'll buy off of. I've seen so many guys where they start buying off of 2, and next thing you know, they're buying every half point they can get their hands on, and it really cuts into their ability to win. So that's my thought on that. Anything else in the NBA that you like tonight, Rick?
There's a game actually that I was all set on, and I'm still going to play it, but it's changed the whole dynamics. It's New Orleans. It's game 5-11, New Orleans tonight at Portland.
Hey, Rick, hold that.
When we came on the air,
Sure. Because we got to take a break. When we come back, we're gonna share your entire thing. Oh, wait a second. We got a minute left. Go for it, Rick. Go ahead.
Okay. So New Orleans, when we came on the air, was a 4.5-point favorite at Portland. It was just announced, about 30 minutes ago, Anthony Davis is going to miss. So the line's gone up to 8.5. These situations is another thing that I talked about yesterday. We love playing the fading, or taking those teams with a star player that goes out after you've got all those points. And I think New Orleans coming off a good performance last night. They lost at Golden State. They only lost by 10. They were in the whole way. I think teams love playing back-to-back nights when they lose the first night because they want to get back on the winning track. So I think Portland getting 8.5 now, even without Anthony Davis, is a very strong play. And I think the line's going to go down to probably 7.5 or so by game 10.
Oh God, that's great. Wait, you guys. Yep, yeah. Good spot. So we like Cleveland. Let's finish it when we come back. We'll wrap up everything that we like tonight. Fifth Street Sports. We have Alan Michaels, Florida Rick, Oklahoma Brian, Frank Perez. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
Not too long ago, it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank, didn't it? For a vacation or a new car. But today, withdrawing your own cash has become risky. Pat Boone here for Swiss America. According to The Secret War, a new Swiss America white paper, I learned that all banks are now required to spy on you and me for the government, and then report any financial behavior deemed suspicious or unusual. You must read The Secret War. It's free. Truth is, I believe the government's new war against cash is really a war against us all. But the secret is now out. So please, get and read The Secret War.
Pick up your phone and call right now. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. Once again, that's 800-932-5517.
Hi, Rick Tittle here. You may know me as the sports talk host that can talk about all sports: football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, golf, tennis, auto racing, boxing, Olympics, rollerball. But this time I'm here to talk about pain. If you have pain in your knee or your back like I do, then you should know about the Health Alert Hotline. If Medicare is your primary insurance, then you could qualify for a back or knee brace at little or no charge. I have an old injury from my football playing days, and anything that can help take that pain away and make it more manageable, that has my attention. I love the free delivery, and they take care of the paperwork for you. So if you have Medicare and need help for back, ankle, knee, or shoulder pain, please call the Health Alert Hotline at 800-428-1570. That's 800-428-1570. Agents are standing by 24/7, so go ahead and call now. 800-428-1570.
Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Clapper, Chief of Orthopedic Surgery at Cedars-Sinai Medical Group in Los Angeles, California. Dedicated to your health, your life, and your sports. As a weekend warrior, you know about sports injuries and pain. Exercise is an important element in keeping your body's core in good shape to minimize sports injuries. But when you are in pain, there is one product that I recommend to my patients, and that is Blue Goo Gel. Blue Goo consists of a proprietary formula developed specifically for the treatment of inflammation and general muscle aches and strains. I recommend Blue Goo for my patients coping with hip and knee pain before surgery, especially bursitis and tendinitis. Give Blue Goo a try. Call 1-888-330-0123 and you'll receive a 1-week supply of Blue Goo absolutely free. The makers of Blue Goo are even paying the shipping. The number again is 1-888-330-0123. If you want more information on Blue Goo, visit online at www.dothegoo.com.
Now available at select Big 5 stores near you.
Fifth Street Sports, we're back, guys. Frank Perez, Alan Michaels, Florida Rick, and Oklahoma Brian. We got everybody in the house. We've had a really good show. You know, especially on NASCAR, stuff that we really want to get educated on. Oh, okay. It looks like we have from Fifth Street Social. Wow, we got a really nice, interesting question here from Mr. Alan Michaels. Okay, from Fifth Street Social. Kurt Morgan, between Truex, Logano, and Busch, who do you like to take home the case in Homestead? I can get action on this.
Okay, well, let's get real quickly to Martinsville last week where we saw Joey Logano take out Martin Truex Jr. on the last lap. It wasn't a takeout, but he put the bumper to him, okay? Right after that race, Martin Truex Jr. went public and said, there will be no way Joey Logano will win the championship this year, and he will make sure of it. Ooh. So the gauntlet has been thrown down, okay? And you had three. I'll tell you who, my friend that responded on the social media, don't count out the bad dog in the pound, Kevin Harvick, just yet. Kevin Harvick has been consistent all year long. His pit team has come up to performance. Kyle Busch is up in there. I think what's going to end up happening is you're going to see them race over Texas and Phoenix. But if Martin is true to what he said, by the time they get to Miami Homestead, Martin, quote, he will not win the championship. I will make sure of it. If I was betting right now, I would put my money either on Kyle Busch, and I would save a little something extra for the bad dog, the number 4 from Stewart Haas Racing, Kevin Harvick. Don't count Kevin Harvick out.
There you go. Kurt Morgan, right from On Pit Road Racing. This is right from the track. You guys, been a great show. Stick around because we got to tape the next show because you guys are going to be in LSU. So we got to tape the next show for Friday. So the lines we give out will be today's lines, okay? We're gonna go to the contest. We're going to give out lines. But just to be fair, they're going to be lines from today. This is going to be our first tape show from Thursday to Friday. Stick around. Thank you. We appreciate you. Fifth Street Sports. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me. It was a pleasure to be with you guys.
It's our pleasure. We'll take care. Have a great afternoon.
USA Radio News.
Policies lead to the release of illegal aliens